Then I will talk a little bit about something different than I usually do. And this is about Buddhism. So, Buddhism is, some people think it is a religion, some people think it is only a physical and a mental and a health and well being practice. And Buddha never claimed that he's founding a new religion. His followers, some of them said, yes, doing a religion, and in the sense that there is some spirituality involved, it can be considered a religion. So the main thing is health, welfare, how to keep our body good, body strong right till the very last minute when we are ready to move on. And it differs. The only thing it has in common with some religions is that when you're responsible, you have a conscience. And Buddhism believes that your actions and your karma. Karma is a very important thing. Some religions believe it, some don't. Some, you know, few few exceptions in all religions, they believe that we are responsible for our actions and we'll get a reward for it in this life and in the next. So, in that sense, maybe it is a religion. So, the first thing, everybody knows his life, that he was a prince and that he did not know anything about the world because he was a very sensitive boy. So, his father and his mother died when giving him birth. So, he did not have a real mother to give him a lot of love, but his mother's sister also had a child, so she nursed him and brought him up and was a very good regular boy, got married, had a child, and then one day he happened to go out. Now he was a big enough, 35 years old. He went out, he saw people on the streets, people, old people, beggars, and he got a shock of his life. He said, "Oh my God, this is life all around." He was living in a palace with lots of food, lots of good things, lots of musicians. And he says, I got to find out why life is this way and how we can get out of it. And he did, but it is not a magic. It is not like I take a pill, okay, fine, I'm going to be happy now for the rest of my life. He came up with what he called the Four Noble Truths. And the first truth, I know it sounds difficult to accept, life is, he used the word dukkha. But dukkha means a lot of things. It doesn't mean just pain and suffering because we enjoy life. We can. We have good families, we have good relationships, we have good jobs. So he didn't say life is just non-stop punishment, but life is hard. So we cannot live with this notion that everything is going to be cozy. Life is a bed of roses. That is not true. So he says life is difficult. And the reason for that is we have craving. We have like tanha, the Pali word, the language at that time, which was like Hindi, sort of part of this sort of Sanskrit. Pali was that language. It says life is dukkha because all of us, as soon as we are born, we are craving. In fact, the reason we were born in the first place is we have a craving. We are like a soul somewhere there or some karma or something looking for birth. And we get born into this world because we have a craving for life. And from the time we come out of the womb, we have craving for milk, we have craving for food, we have craving, of course, for air to breathe. So it's craving, craving. As we grow up, we are craving for more things, for more houses, for more jobs, for more money. It is non-stop. That is the reason for the craving. Because that's the reason for dukkha, because we have this craving. And if we don't get what we want a good job, and we don't get it, we have anger, we have bitterness, we have animosity. That those two things go together. So if we can overcome these two things, basically, if we overcome craving, we will overcome the opposite, which is anger for not getting what we want. If we overcome this craving, our life will be peaceful. It's easy to say, but it's not that easy to do. So, first, noble truths. Yes, four, he calls them noble truths, four noble truths. Life is difficult. The reason is we have craving, but there's an end to that difficulty. And what is the end? It is called the eightfold path. I'm sure every one of us have studied at least a little bit in history in schools. They don't spend much time in India because for some reason the Hindus did not allow it to grow. At one time, Buddhism, with the time of Asoka, was all over India, Afghanistan, all the way up to to even to Greece and Rome. On that side, and on this side, it was in China, Tibet, Korea, all these countries, and Sri Lanka, Ceylon. So it was all over the world. But after he died, luckily, he's one of the only early teachers who had a person, he had a guy, his cousin named Ananda, who remembered every one of his talks. 80,000 talks. Now that sounds a lot, like a lot, 80,000 in 40 years. Because for 10 years he was searching what to do. At the age of 35, he left the home. Took him 10 years to get this enlightenment and to find out what the cause is. And the remaining 40 years or 45 years he spent teaching. So in 45 years to do 80,000 talks is not that big. But some of these are just small talks, very small. Some are like a page or page and a half. One or two or three of them are long, about a page long if you look at if you read it. So most of them are short, but he organized them word of mouth. So some of these immediate followers, they had 500. They have a council at that time is in BC. He was 625 years before the birth of Christ. So you can imagine how long ago that was. Then later on, about 200 after years after the birth of Christ, then they came up with a Devanagari script, Sanskrit script, and that's when they wrote all of these 80,000 uh, talks. So they are there. Okay. So when the eightfold path, I'll spend just a little more time and then we'll start our music. The eightfold path of eight is the first is no right speech, right action, what we do, and right livelihood. We should not engage in any livelihood that can cause harm. So don't become a robber. Don't become if you're working in a bank and lending money. Don't charge too much. If you have a shop, don't try to make too much money. Just make enough for yourself, and so that other people can also balance it. So right speech, right action, dealing with other people, don't steal them, don't be rude to them, don't fight with them, and right livelihood to make your living with a peaceful way, not in a bad way. So the first is
Uh,
related to
Lawrence, I'm
yes.
sorry I cannot hear the voice. Is it the same with all? I cannot hear at all.
No, no, it's quite clear. It's quite clear.
Oh,
I'm missing your
It's
voice.
clear.
I can
Clear.
see you,
Clear.
not hear you.
Uh,
uh,
Sirat ma'am, oh, just increase the volume on your screen because we can all hear him.
You can hear. Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try. Yes, bete. If then it's okay. Sorry, I disturb. I
I'll try.
cannot hear.
Oh, I'm sorry
Then
you
I'll
cannot
put
hear.
my earphones. Yes.
This is who's this Sirit?
Yeah.
Correct,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sirit, you can't hear.
No, maybe she has to put her hearing aid.
Yeah.
You have been clear so far. Carry on.
Okay,
Yeah, you're clear.
okay, thank you. Okay, so there's eightfold path. The first three, right speech, right action, and livelihood, are called morality. How do we live in this world? The next two is right mindfulness and right concentration. This is where the thing called samadhi comes in, right? Mindfulness. Everything we do, be aware of what we are doing. Just don't do it, by reflex. Now, some things we have to do, like when we are young, we learn to walk, and then we don't think about walking. It happens. But most other things, dealing with other people, or talking to people, or getting a job, or working somewhere, all of that has to be done mindfully. Be aware of what we're doing. And also, he did not say any prayers or not. They were chanting. There was a lot of chanting, a lot of music, a lot of Tibetan bowls like this, lots of music, but it is for chanting. And it was not prayers, just saying Hare, good morning, saying some whatever prayers some churches say. Those are good too, but he just says do meditation. And meditation has a lot of benefits. Even in yoga, we know that the benefits of meditation are, so it brings calmness and concentration. And with concentration, you can get samadhi. Okay. So that's the second. And the third one is right intention. Your mind should have the right thoughts. This is what I'm going to do. Right intention and right understanding. We have to understand that life is not just a bed of roses. If we understand these and we follow this morality and we do some meditation, he says that is all we need in our lives. Okay? Uh, so I'll stop a little later and talk about what is called the five aggregates, but we'll talk about that later. So right now, let's do a little bit of sound healing. And since you can hear the bowls, I'm glad you can. And this this system is not working, but if you can hear the bowls and if you can hear my voice, then that's okay. And we had a little more time today, so I don't think we'll take the full time. We may take maybe 10, 15 minutes from now, depending on how these things go. And then I'll try and do some small conclusion about Buddhism. Okay, is that good? Once again, I'm going to ask, can just say yes or no if you can hear this.
Yes.
Okay, good. So in Buddha's time in India, they did not have Tibetan bowls, but they did chanting, very, very nice chanting. And I can't do that. They're all in Pali. But all his lectures, all his talks of right livelihood, right concentration, samadhi, they are all in nice chants. And the Buddhist monks would sit down together and sing those. Hari Om uh, Satipatthana, Hovaya, like that. Very, very calm, all of them. They were mainly male monks at that time. Later on, in his lifetime itself, he allowed nuns to come in. But he had to be very careful to separate them from the male monks, and also to make sure the male monks or other people don't take advantage of these girls who are living by themselves in a monastery. So for that, it took him some time, but during his time itself, he was that way. So that's a good thing about the Buddha. He didn't have any distinction between men and women, and distinction between castes. Everyone is equal, and you get a reward based on your actions, nothing else. So let's close our eyes, take a deep breath, Feel the sound coming through your ears and going through the whole body. These vibrations can also go to different parts of the body, absorbed because we have what is called the vagus nerve. It picks up the sounds and takes it to the auditory channel and then to the brain. Every organ in our body has its own vibration. Every cell in our body has its own vibration. There are trillions of cells. They all vibrate at different frequency, and then they become an organ. And organ has its own frequency. Just like our body has a pulse rate, it has a heart rate, has a breathing rate. Every different parts of the body have different frequencies, and these frequencies coming from these bowls match those and bring them into harmony. So there's more peace. So remember to take a deep, slow inhalation and a deep, slow exhalation out very slowly. And you'll feel a lot of relief. It's a very good practice. The flute and the drum are the oldest instruments. You go to any small remote village, you'll find them playing the flute or the drum because it's very easy to make these two things. The flute is just any branch they take and they hollow it and make holes. And those ancients at that time, they knew which sounds work better for human beings. And those sounds have not changed. Sa, re, ga, ma, sa, pa, sa, sa, re, ga, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In English, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, sa,
Padani,
da. Okay, these are the eight. I'm sorry, I may not be saying it correct, but those are the eight, exactly the same in India, in the West, in almost all countries, they have the same.
Sarigama Padanisa.
Thank you. Sarigama Padanisa. Thank you.
Padanisa.
Padanisa. Okay.
Padani,
Sare.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sarigama Padanisa,
Okay.
Padanisa.
Okay.
Padanisa.
Okay. Very good. So this is the drum. This is also almost any place you go to, you'll hear this. This is like the heartbeat. This actually a heartbeat would be like this. There are some doctors now who are using sound to treat Alzheimer's and dementia patients. And there's not 100% success, but they're seeing a little bit of success in that. It's maybe for some of them it is too late, but when we are young, if we develop this ability to listen to sounds and to do meditation, we develop a quality in the brain, in the mind, actually, which is more than the brain, to be calm and not let anything take us out of our calmness. That's when we let other things bother us, then we have problems. Okay, so we can do a little more of this, or we can sing that's Mera Mangale, my happiness, your happiness, everyone's happiness. Would you like to do that?
Yes,
Everybody?
yes.
Okay, just these three lines, okay? The first line we say three times. Second line, Mera Mangale, three times. Tera Mangale, three times. And Sabika Mangale. And not the whole thing, because the whole thing is very nice. It's very nice sounding, but I don't remember the words. I need the words in front of me, and everyone needs the words. So just three lines. Let's start. Mera Mangale, Mera Mangale, Mera
Mera
Mangale
Mang.
Hue. Tera Mangale, Tera Mangale, Tera
Tera.
Mangale Hue. Sabika Mangale, Sabika Mangale, Sabi ka mangale.
Hooray.
Very good, very good. Okay, if there's interest, we can do this whole thing one more time, or we can continue with the balls. Which do you prefer?
We prefer both.
Balls, okay. Okay, okay. Very good. Whatever you prefer. It's a really very nice song if you know the words. It says, "May I be happy, may you be happy, may everyone be happy." Buddha's teaching was about being peaceful and happy. Okay, with that, I think we can conclude it because we had a longer session. The first session did not take so much time, and uh, I'm ready to conclude it unless you want to hear a few more minutes of bowls, or you had enough.
No, no. Continue.
Continue. Okay, sure, sure. We'll continue. I don't want to get too fast, so another 5 minutes. Okay. Just feel happiness. We,
Yes.
if we can have that joy inside our body, joy in the mind and body. Buddha talked about mind, body, these two things that are really four aggregates. I'll talk about that in a minute. So Buddha's message was if you do these four noble, if you understand that, it's not doing anything there. Understand that and the eightfold path, sila, your right thinking, right action, right livelihood, and right concentration. If we do these things, we can be happy in this world itself. Now, maybe we won't make a lot of money, some people may, and it's not important. The important thing is, are we happy with ourselves and with our families and our immediate friends? Money comes, money goes. We don't take our money with us. So that was his main teaching. And what he also said is we are made up of four things: mind, body, these hands, legs, heart, mind, body, feelings. Not any religion even talks about feelings. Feelings are very important. Feelings
Yes.
affect our mood. Feelings make us love. Feelings make us hate and get angry. Feelings are external. We can feel it on our skin. We feel it internally. And if we are feeling bad, it affects us. So feelings is the third thing. And the fourth thing is what he called phenomena, things we cannot control. completely out of our control, and that is impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, he says. Nothing. It's all constantly changing. Our in breath, we take in breath, and then it's the out breath. And our cells are constantly changing. Now, science has proved that we are losing every second. Thousands of cells die, thousands of new cells come up. So it's constantly changing. The world is changing, the air is changing, everything is impermanent. That is the most important thing. So, four things you have to remember. So, we don't take anything with us except our karma. So, make sure we have a good karma. With that, I will end the session.